Good morning, everyone, and happy Thursday. It's a wonderful, wonderful Thursday. So I'm actually going to do some more 3D work. This is like 3D week. So we're going to be working on 3D work the entire week. We've got internal stuff now that I want to work on. We're going to make space chairs and space cars and space stuff. I don't know. I just work here. Anyway. Okay, time for us to go over to the main line and warm up, because even if you're doing 3D, you should always warm up. It's good for you. And I'm not seeing that camera on. I'm actually seeing that camera is off. I don't know why that camera's off. Well, this may be an issue. Let's see. Yep, I think this camera died. Okay, well, maybe I won't do warm-ups today. Maybe we'll just talk about warm-ups. This is solely because I just said, just a minute ago to my father, I said, hey, I can teach people stuff on my desk because I happen to have a camera mounted over on the desk. And clearly I do not have a camera mounted over on the desk, which is all right. We'll just go on ahead and get to work. We got work to do here, and it's not going to kill us any at all. Okay, so we did space chair. We were doing space chair, and space chair is great. But I was thinking about something, and I was like, well, okay, so what we've got here is a space chair, right? Here's our space chair. I'll zoom in so you can see it, right? Here's our space chair. Ooh, you know what we could do is do this. Center your space chair. Bork. There we go. I'm noticing that we've got like a little bit of wiggle here, which I want to clean up. But first, looking at space chair, we're going to go in here. We're going to go to edit mode, into this, and let's just clean up some of this stuff, because I'm noticing some funkies here, like this funky. Last night I was watching Cobra Kai, and was entertainingly slightly distracted. It was a very good show. I'm actually very pleased with Cobra Kai as a series. They're doing a very good job of making it into a good combination of nostalgia mixed with, at least a somewhat reasonably interesting story. There we go. Good morning, Donald. We're doing space chairs. What do you think? Space chairs. I did the space chair last night while watching Cobra Kai, as I was saying, and so now I'm just cleaning up the mesh a little so that it's not quite as... yeah, I'm loving it too. I'm very much loving it. They did a pretty good cliffhanger for the end of this season. And the new season starts in January, which is good, because that'll give me something to kind of look forward to in January, because we'll be clear of The Expanse by then. The new season of The Expanse will have already been released and stuff like that. So, okay. Space chair is space E. But the one thing that space chair is missing is cushions. We need cushions. So, I'm going to make some cushions for space chair today. That's what we're going to do. We're going to make some cushions in the space chair. We're going to do that so that a couple of things. One, space chair is probably going to be one uniform color of some sort or another. And so, probably want to make everything sort of a different color if we can. So one of the things I wanted to do is learn how to make materials work, right? So how do we make it so that these pieces of the space chair are black, right? So there's got to be a way to do materials editing here. Render properties, output properties, because I want a materials zone, right? So we're going to look here. This looks like material properties, right? So what if we assign this material as a base color of, black, let's just say, right? And assign it to this zone so that looks still white to me. So select maybe and deselect. Okay, well, that didn't help us any. Okay. Here we go. We're going to select all the sections of the bottom of the chair. In fact, I think I'll go all the way to here. And these guys all need to be Christian Burley, who's... Okay, well, that doesn't seem like a thing to me. So surface... okay. So maybe assign... Maybe we'll call this black support. Right? We'll assign that. And then up here, we'll assign... Oh, I feel like that because it wasn't in naked mode. You know what that means. That means that this is probably all only on one side. So assign. That's that whole section there. Okay. Now we'll go to the side view and move down a little. And this we'll put as white. I don't know. Seat structure. I'm just making stuff up. And this one we'll make white. And we'll say assign. And then if that comes out right, I'm hoping well, not the way I wanted it to. Well. So the reason we want to make material zones is ultimately when we put this into DAZ Studio, I want that to be two different zones so that I can at least assign the zones in DAZ Studio to a color. And the truth is we don't need these to be super detailed. These are just chairs. So they're just chairs that people are sitting in. And though people do look at chairs and they're cognizant of chairs, they're not really that important. So I'm going to just go on ahead and do that. The next thing we're going to do here, though, is we want cushions for these chairs. So we're going to do some cushion work here. I'm going to do that by adding a cube, right? So we've got this cute little cube right down here, and we're going to, with him selected, we're going to subdivide and do it again, right? Ooh, you know what I want to do before I subdivide, though? I'm going to take the bottom off of it. Why are you taking the bottom off of it, man? This sucks. You suck. We're just going to take the faces off. And the reason is because you never really want any more than you absolutely have to have. Now we'll subdivide. Okay. So, with this, I'm going to go into sculpting mode. Watch me go into sculpting mode. Okay. Now I'm in sculpting mode. Right. Now, we're going to start working on this a little. Right? And what I really want to do at this point in time is, just kind of work this a little and make this into a cushion. And like I said, it doesn't have to be awesome, because we're just going to make this into a nice little cushion here. We need to make sure that we got the dime topo and stuff like that on, because we really want to make sure that has sort of the ability to, see how it's adding more vertices to it? That's what we're after. Right? They'll appreciate that I have spent some quality time making more vertices if they're spending extra time at their station. That's all we're saying, right? That's all we're saying here. And now I'll flatten down. Where's my flatten function? There we go. And kind of fun, actually. Kind of looks like a rock right now. Okay, go over there and sit in the chair that's a rock. The rock chair. That is very strange. I've seen a couple of really weird drops recently. And it's not just you. It's a number of people gotten just wiped out, dropped. That's it. You're done. You're done. No more. I should have just left that bottom on because it's not helping me any. I had Brent in here, though. That helped a little, but it was still, we missed you. And by we, I guess I mean me, because, I don't know, Brent might have missed you, but I don't want to speak for him, you know. I presume Brent missed you. I missed you. Let's bring this up like this. Using the crease tool. I'll go in here and just bring this up. I think we will. I have a lot of faith that we'll have people on Mars in our lifetime. I think that's going to happen. I actually think that my child is of the age and era of which he might actually be, or at least his generation will be the ones that are actually on Mars. a lot of faith in that. Uh-oh, I'm smoothing the chair. I didn't want to smooth the chair. Yeah, probably. I feel like I'm now making a mess out of my cushion. Wondering whether I shouldn't try for a different setup here. I think I should. Let's try this. Let's take this guy and we'll just delete him at this point in time. So we'll go to modeling and we'll say you were cute, but nah. Okay. They may be working on those cell towers. I never know anymore. Okay, we're going to try something else here. We're going to add Shift A. And let's put in a cube. And I think we put this cube in. And let's try a different tactic this time. If we work on it like this. Right, and take a look at this. Could have been a whoopee cushion. Anything could happen these days. This would be the kind of stuff that I'd expect from a crew. I'm having an interesting discussion with a buddy of mine about unprofessional behavior for Starfleet officers, and I'm like, well, maybe, except have you met Navy people? It's like, not saying that Navy's unprofessional, just saying that sometimes people are just goofballs. That's just the way it goes. I was like, I don't think this is anything kind of strange here. Okay, so I'm going to take this guy, put him in this mode so I can see what I'm doing here. I think I might want to subdivide him first. Let's go on ahead and go over here and then hit subdivide. There. That way, at least when I'm over here and sculpting, it makes some sense. Right, what I'm doing. So, we're just going to add surface to it. Right, we're going to add some surface to it here. Or try to add surface to it. I'm not seeing it come up like I want it to. There we go. Really, we're just trying to make it look not like a square on top of here, just more like a cushion. And we'll go back in with the smoothing array, which is this guy. There. That's much more like what I'm looking for. Wow, that's not what I'm looking for. Look at that. That's wild. Okay, we'll go in here. Blow this back out. Until it stops being weird. It's not going to stop being weird, is it? Well, sure. I don't want to build one from scratch. It seems ridiculous. I have the ability to model in clay. I should be able to just model it. And it's aggravating that I'm having to do that. Never tried some of these other ones. What does the nudge do? Oh, it just nudges it. That's kind of cool. Allows me to really kind of work the mesh, doesn't it? Yeah, I think that there's, first of all, I think Trekkies overthink stuff. That's just in our nature. It's our way of things. I've got this horrible little canyon in here, and I don't know how to get rid of the canyon. Right, maybe that's it. Fill it up like this. So it goes the other direction. Did it go the other direction, or did I just make a mess of things? I just made a mess of things. Yeah, I'm trying to... I don't know what's going on here. I mean, I like the little butterfly effect that's going on here, but I don't think that's helping me any. Like, should we have filled in here? I'm kind of wondering whether that should have been a fill effect. Like over here, we've got this. Can I just fill in right through here? Yeah, I feel like this isn't working. Oh, it's totally fun to overthink. And we Trekkies are just horrible about it. Wonderfully horrible. You know what I mean? It's our thing. It's what we do. We overthink stuff in a pleasant way. But I was getting razzed by my wife for it last night. She was markedly entertained by it, and she was chiding me for it. She was saying, "You guys are overthinking it. You don't need to overthink it so much." It was very funny. And I said, "Have you met us Trekkies?" It's like, we always overthink things. It's the nature of things. It's our nature. Okay. Yeah, mine too. I will overthink a lot. Okay, so. And I'm wondering whether I'm not overthinking right now. Am I overthinking plausibly? I mean, what if I just took a pill effect here and did a sphere like this? this from the top view. Move down on it here. Selected all of you. Made you into a pillow. Look at you being a pillow. Right? And then go into modeling and sculpting. And I see the same problem I usually see. It only took the top half. Control Z. And one more Z. Z. There we go. Go back to top view. There we go. Oh, I did it again, didn't I? Go into naked mode. I have to remember to be in naked mode. The mesh has to be naked. There we go. And then for the front, we do the same thing. Right, select only the bottom half. Yeah, see, I overthought this. I really did. All right. And now we have this. That's a cushion. Looks like a cushion. Barks like a cushion. That kind of stuff. Oh no. Have to be in naked mode. There we go. Now we can look at it from this side and see if it matches the weird angle of this chair, which it almost does. There we go. Doing good. We're going to kill everything from the midsection down, so let's go ahead and actually make sure it's level so that I don't have to worry about a weird selection, because we're going to do this here. I'm actually going to do more like that. All right. What we're doing is we're just capturing as many faces as we can. Get closer and closer to the midpoint. It won't matter a lot, but it'll matter some. Because I'm about to hit delete. And I'm going to take faces away. Right? That makes this hollow underneath, which is fine. I'm okay with it being hollow underneath. It's going to be a cushion. So I'm not terribly concerned. But now we'll need to go beat it up a little, right? Bork. And we'll move into the modeling mode, and then we'll go into sculpting. All right. And now we'll just rough it up a little. We don't need to do much with it. We're just giving it some topography. So it looks like somebody's sitting in it, right? There we go. We're just giving this kind of a little bit of topography. There. Look at that. Now we have a cushion. It actually looks kind of like a cushion. Ooh, don't crease it there. There. Look at that. Now we'll drop down a little. Let's see here. I want to kind of go in. Draw. Can I say hi? I can. Okay, let's not do that though. That's funny, but I didn't realize I could do that. It's kind of fun. Because now I can kind of draw down a little here in the center. Right. There. There. Perfect. It's a little cushion for the chair. Alrighty. Now that we've done that, I'm going to go to the top view. Go to modeling. Also go to the top view. Interesting design now. And what looks like a pillow. Make sure we're in this mode, because otherwise we won't select everything and that will be bad. And we go in here, and that fits really nicely right there. I feel like it needs to be resized a little this way. So it's not on that lip. And I'll resize it a little this way just to give it artistic license. And then we'll place it on the chair itself. There. And now we have a cushion. I noticed that the chair comes through the cushion a little. So we're going to want to fix that a little. It's really tough to see. Okay. There we go. We'll need to bring up this middle point right there. I can see it kind of dipping down. There. just fixing the cushion a little here so that we can kind of get this. It drops lower than the actual cushion itself.
Yes. I finished the triangles thing. No. I feel like I may have missed that part. I think I missed that part.
Okay, so all I'm doing here is just kind of, I want this topography to look like a cushion, but it doesn't need to be obnoxious about it. I'm going to go through here. We're going to just clean up the... Take these two out. All we're doing here is just cleaning this up. Like, I see that we've got some serious damage right here. So I'm going to go ahead and put a face back in on this. Right, and this is just cleaning up this rough edge. Okay. I'm just taking each one of these threes right here, and I'm building in a face on it. And that's only just so that we can just get a little bit more of an edge on this, right? So that it's not completely, bonked at the side. So I'm going to bring this down a little. There we go. I'm going to come around to the back here and do the same thing. We just don't want any extraneous. I could become famous. Imagine that. The only people I'm ever getting over there on Twitch are bots. It's kind of frustrating, actually. All right. Now that we've done that, we're going to go in here and we're going to say seat cushion. Okay, and its base color we're going to make just green, just so that we know that that's happening. Now, I'm not sure whether this is working or not. And it's kind of aggravating because there's no mode. For me to see whether it shaded it correctly, because now everything's green. Which means it's shading this correctly. Oh, I'm going to be very aggravated if this is one of those. Hey, Brent. Honestly, Donald, nothing's going to change for us. We've been locked down since March, so nothing changes here. So when they lock down, we'll be doing exactly the same thing we did before. I mean, it's not going to change anything. We've been staying in and not going anywhere, and I have hope for the new vaccine. That's kind of cool. I'm looking forward to seeing whether that works or not. It's an interesting world we live in with a pandemic. Kind of wondering what's going to happen, though, when we're done with this pandemic and all of us return to normal. Things like this show, which I made because I felt like a lot of us just need to know that somebody else is out here. Will I continue it? I mean, I might. In fact, I'd kind of like to. You know, these are the things I kind of ponder. There we go. Yep, I think, well, my minion's been home this entire time. So, even with that, it's not changing anything. So I feel for you, my friend. I feel for you. Yeah, I think so too. I think people are having a hard time with it, and I understand that. But I just talked to my dad and told him, I said, I don't know if we're going to make it for Christmas because just the nature of things. And he's like, you know what? That sounds fair. And I actually did not expect that of him. But I'm glad he isn't pushing me, because that would be bad. That would make me feel really sad. It's sad enough that, you know, I can't get down there and see him. I think the surges in cases is also directly proportional to Halloween. Thanksgiving is going to be turkey sandwiches here. That's what's going to be. And thankful that we're still alive. I think that's where we are for Thanksgiving. It's all right. Thanksgiving is all about family and being with your family, and I think that it's good to just lie low and keep your family with you. You know, keep them on the planet, even if we're not together, which is a bummer. I'm just going through here and cleaning this guy up a little. So what do you think, Brent? We're talking earlier about insubordination and bad leadership in Star Trek. Specifically, and I don't know if you've seen the short trek, The Trouble with Edward, but I have a friend who's duly offended by Captain Lucero's behavior. And I was trying to say I feel like her behavior is just because she's new to the job. And he seems to be more offended by her behavior than should be warranted. Does that make any sense? Did I just select something down there? I did. How do you guys feel? Talking about Captain Lucero. Okay, so can I do these not in different material zones? Like, if I select you, can I make you into a different material zone? Or does that change everything? It changes everything. Okay. So this is all one material zone. That's not what I wanted to hear. Okay, so everybody wants to make this into one material zone. We all want to make it a single... Sorry about bumping the mic there, guys. We all want to make it a simple or a single material zone. So how do I get just you to be one material zone? Can I add a material zone? Wow. Well. Chair? Maybe I need to do it. Yeah. Michael is an interesting and complex character, I feel, these days on Discovery. And I don't want to spoil anything, so... Aha! Look at me being awesome. Look at me screwing it up because it wasn't in naked mode. There we go. Put you in naked mode. Yeah, Michael's interesting. I feel like she is. But I also... oh, it's all right, my friend. It's all fine. We are sitting here discussing the benefits of base color. And this one will be black. And then I will make sure we're in naked mode here and select everything down here. Plus you guys. Assign. There. I agree, and I'm hoping that people will go with that, because I feel like there are people who are very angry with Michael for her behavior, and I feel like yes, it's missing actually lumbar support, because that's like right here. So Space Chair doesn't give you lumbar support. You just have to suck it up and drive on. But Space Chair can have black seat cushions, which is what I'm really after here. Okay, now we'll go to one side, and we will do these things like rotate that so that it matches, and put it here onto the actual chair itself. And we also want to duplicate it, which is, as I recall, Shift D. Is that right? Nope. Is it Control D? Nope. Must be Shift D while I'm on it. Shift D. There we go. That's for duplicate. Okay, we're going to go to the top view. Kind of looks like chocolate chip cookies or something. I don't know. It's weird. But that'll work. And we'll go for the front view. And we'll take my selected dudes here. And I will rotate them this way because there's no real reason for me to. Right? Let's get a little battery in your chair. Chair battery. Is your chair battery out? I'm easily entertained. Okay. And we're going to do this. And then this. Can I taper it? That's bevel. Poly build. Shear. Nah. Feel like I can. Ooh, we're not in naked mode. We're not in naked mode. Need to be in naked mode for this to work. I'm just making it shaped out a little bit more so that it fits a little bit more on the. You can see the captain's butt print in it. Now, see, Brent, you know, if you're taking it from an MRE, I'm just saying, man. Oh, it went the wrong direction. Look at that. We don't want to do that. We want to go from the top. We want to rotate it this way. And look at it from here. And we'll go here. And we will maneuver this a little like that. And just put that in there, right there. And now, oh no, speaking of butt prints, we have mesh through mesh problems here. That middle section right here needs to be dealt with. Right, it's not going to select it unless it's in naked mode. Guys, you're not helping me any. There we go. Why is it red? It's so weird. Uh-oh. It's a wear spot, yeah. Where spot? There spot. There cow. Why is it taking a lot of effort? Okay. Everybody's above except for that one point right there. You need to come out a little bit. There we go. Got one more spot right here. There we go. All of this saves me drawing. Anything it can save me, 5 minutes of drawing or whatever means that we get the comic out faster. And that's really what it boils down to. So I know this sounds like why are you spending so much time on this? Well, there will be zillions of chairs. I mean, chairs are sort of a human normal thing. So there's going to be chairs everywhere. So if I can just make this chair normal, then I don't have to make any other chairs and worry about them. So, right. I love how much discussion we're having about the lumbar support of this thing. Especially since there's no lumbar support here as a whole. That cracks me up more than anything. Oh, man. Okay, we'll go in here and we'll fix this cushion as well. This is the harder cushion to fix, because we're going to be seeing through a lot of the mesh here. So it's really only this guy, huh? It wasn't so hard now, was it? And this guy needs to come up too. Like that. Huh. Well, then there's that. Chill Mac from an MRE, though. Oof. Okay. I'm going to take it out of point mode and put it there. Put it there. That's not bad. It's really not bad at all. A little rough up here at the top, though. I want to kind of look at that and see what we got going on up here, because this looks rough. It looks like this entire zone probably ought to be brought out a little bit more. Yeah, see, you just want to select stupid stuff and make me mad. That's not what I wanted you to do. Bork, bork. Yeah, I'm liking it too. It has merit to it. I just really wanted it so that whenever we do scenes that involve, seeing a normal chair and a normal sitting arrangement or whatever, that it makes some sense and it's logical. We could do this the old-fashioned way and just do it this way. It's already time for a break? I've been arguing with this, though. I like arguing. Suppose I like arguing with this. Alrighty. Let's make double sure that was not, in fact, my kid's son, because I don't know what happened to my kid. Okay, everybody, let's take a quick break. Switch us back to the main camera. Everybody, we gotta stand up. Oh, and stretch. Oh, man. Bend. And time for a little walk. walk around real quick, get the blood flowing to every part of your body. Okay, are you supposed to be doing something?
I'm supposed to have a food, but I didn't do the thing that I needed to do. So the only thing that I'm supposed to be doing is the food.
What about the thing that she was talking about? Why didn't you do that? The thing that she wants you to do that you can't do because you have to do the Kahoot.
I can't do the food because I don't have the thing.
Do the thing.
I have, but I still can't show you the food.
Okay. You're not out of school. So find something else to do. All right. Let's get back to work here. All right. Now we're back. My kid is having some issues over there, but he seems to be okay now. All righty. So all I'm doing here is just cleaning it up here at the top. It looked a little weird. And so I just kind of want to make sure it doesn't look too strange up here. I'm receiving text messages. Uh, 11:30. We're going to stop our show today at 11:30 for a couple of reasons. By the way, since we're here and since you guys are all here, tomorrow I have an 11 o'clock meeting. Let me double check. I have an 11 o'clock meeting, but it's a Zoom meeting, so I can quit the show here and go straight into that meeting. But it does mean that tomorrow's meeting is going to be 10 to 11, just so that you guys are all aware on this one. So, okay, space chair. We only need to do one more pad up here at the top. But right now, what we have on space chair is this, which is not bad at all. I feel like that looks like a good, solid, comfy chair. I mean, you can definitely feel like it would be a reasonable chair to sit in. It's probably space fabric up here in these black areas, so the fact that it's only this thin means it's still comfy on your butt. I'm sure it's not an uncomfortable chair. It doesn't really matter. It's space chair. But I do want one more pad up here, and I really kind of want to make it a round pad. So we're going to... Yeah, I think Pepper's out tomorrow as well. So it's just going to be me. We're going to work on the next thing, maybe space cars. We've got to make some space cars. We've got to make some space trucks. We did some buildings earlier, and we need to populate that city. So we're going to be doing space cars, space trucks, those kind of things. The space cars and space trucks, I feel like, will also end up being shuttles. So a shuttle or a launch would be an armored space truck, effectively. I mean, at some point in time, that just I mean, if you think about it, think about the way that Navy ships run. Your standard launch from a Navy ship really is just effectively the same exact thing as the civilian version of the Zodiac, right? So it's the same critter. It's, so yes, space motorbikes, yeah. We'll have to have all of those things. But, I mean, we'll get to a point where even the cars will be vacuum sealed inside, on the city streets, because, yeah, might as well. It's all going to be the same critter. So you could effectively take your car, drive down the street, drive to an airlock. The airlock would open. You drive through the airlock and then just and take off, and then you'd fly around in space in your car, and then you'd come back and, yeah, exactly. So I think space cars would just be launches, little teeny launches, micro launches. At some point, we're going to have, this thick hull protection with heat and dissipation, grid, and, insulation and everything. And it'll just be that thick. And then when you do, you just make that compound stuff and you build the car. So I feel like that's something we would have. You know what I mean? So we would do that. The next thing I'm kind of wondering about is whether I should manually draw the lines on this. It'd save me. Well, right, exactly. If the dome decompressed or whatever, you just get into the nearest car, close the door. And that way, you could save everybody. Everybody would have a car, and you could just get into the car. And maybe even you'd have like food trucks that you mean for all the yeah, you know what, we'll work a little bit harder on the cars so that maybe you can print those. That'd be kind of fun. If nothing else, printing those cars at 25 millimeter so that they could be in a like a mecha game of some sort, or there will be mecha in Bellatrix Rising, because this is my dream story and I'm going to put everything I like in it. It's my Final Fantasy, I tell you. You're like, I'm just saying, but my resin printer is not in use right now. Well, I'd make you print this chair, but it's just a chair. It's just a chair. But yeah, I mean, I kind of like the idea of, I am, by the way, I don't know if you've kind of gotten that I'm doing this in 80s futuristic aesthetic. I like the 80s futuristic aesthetic, and I think it's cool. So we're going to be doing a lot of 80s futuristic aesthetic. We need to do a headrest pillow on this, and then we are done. We're going to do the same thing we did before. But yeah, I think that we'll do a sphere. We'll take our sphere and move it out here. Sphere is here. Oh yeah, see, that's my thing, is I'm a major mecha fan, so I'm trying to kind of figure out how mecha got involved in the Bellatrix universe. Because I know it did. I just don't know how. So we'll get that in here. That's not to say that I don't really know how. I'm just saying I want to be... Everything I have done with Bellatrix Rising has had a logic behind it. And so I want to figure out the logic behind my mecha. Why do I have mecha? What's the point of mecha? Do we just stick them in there because it seems like they need some other spaceship support? Probably not. Really what I think is going to happen is that we're going to have mecha in there that just have specific jobs. they'll be more like the boomers from Bubblegum Crisis, except probably not intelligent, because there are actually laws against that in Bellatrix Rising's universe. There are laws against making and creating artificial intelligence. Logan's Run style, yeah. Okay, moving from the top, we're going to take everything from the back end off right here, because we don't need it. Delete vertices. There we go. All right. So now we're looking just at this front piece right here, right? That's all we got here. It's our little pill sort of thing going on. And then we're going to go do the same thing we just did. Go into sculpting. I'm going to go down here and check the pill out. Right. And that's going to do 0. Okay, that's fair. Okay. And do the same thing we did before. Make sure Dyne Topo is on. All right. Yeah, I mean that's effectively why you get mechs in Robotech's world, right? Is because the Zentradi are huge, right? All right, let's take a look. Did I just beat up the pill? Because that's really all we really did here. We just beat it up. There we go, moving around the side there. So, yeah, that makes some sense. I like that idea. Somewhere along the line, they met something that required mechs. Truth is, I think that any society that has large structures is going to need mech support. I mean, frankly, it's easier to do large things like building buildings if you can literally just mimic it with a mech, right? So pick up the piece of the building, and this is the 3rd floor, and then here's the 4th floor, and then here's the 5th floor. You know, it's frankly, I mean, that would be so much easier than a crane and all the things we do now. So there's a certain amount of it makes sense to have industrial mechs. I think I probably won't have transforming mechs because that's sort of a silly conceit, despite the fact that I absolutely adore Macross. Macross has a reason for it. I feel like in spaceships, you're just going to have them have thruster packs. Right? You could have marine mechs, which would make sense. Biggest thing with mecha is, I mean, I see the Marines having mecha anyway. I mean, I just see that. That makes total sense. Biggest problem with Marine mecha is that they can't carry anybody. You know, that is a war machine, and that's its job, is to war. And there's nothing wrong with that, but it does make it difficult to justify its location in a lot of, or justify its placement somewhere. Not impossible, just difficult. All right. All of you guys were in this. We need it assigned to seat cushion. Make sure it went that way. Yep, it did. Good. And now that we have this, we make sure in naked mode. Right, then we assign it to seat cushion because the underside wasn't assigned. There we go. Yep. I do think that fingers and hands would make logical sense. The other thing, though, is I feel like it'd be kind of fun if there were Jessine mechs and Volmar mechs. You know, these are mechs that are large versions of the other races. So you'd end up with, you know, effectively flying jellyfish as a mech. You know, it's got the little tentacles hanging out, and all the tentacles grab things and move stuff around, and then it moves to a different location and grabs things and moves things. And, you know, because I feel like that would be rather entertaining. Okay. Now we are too large for the headrest that we're looking for, which is fine. We'll move down to the correct size here on everything. I feel like that'd be an interesting thing that we've never really discussed. All mecha are always humanoid, but I don't actually have full humanoids in my story. So it'd be fascinating to see that work, you know? There. And we have a space chair. Look at us having a space chair. I like the fact that cushions look like cushions. That helps a whole lot. And the space chair looks like a space chair. And the only part that really needs to be UV mapped is this structure here where we can put lines on it. And all it really needs is just a few lines and stuff, and it'll be fine. But other than that, our space chair looks like, well, a space chair. So that's good. Yeah, the thing about that's the thing about the exoskeleton in Aliens. I like it a whole lot, but I also feel like the limits what we can do. I feel like that if you had a mech, it would have the two claws, but then it would also have a hand on the inside, so you could grab things and move stuff around. So that, you know. And then you flip those little arms back like that for picking stuff up. It all flips back so that you can grab, you know, here's part of the space deck, and we're going to put that on there. And then snap forward the little welder and go bzz, 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 and weld all that pieces together. And then we, you know, okay, that part of the deck's done. And then we grab something else and stick it on there. And then bzz, bzz, you know, I think that'd be great. Best part about this is Daz Studio allows me to do things like replace body parts. So I can design the mech and then load up a human being and then just replace all the body parts with mech parts and then have a mech. So once we design our mechs for this stuff, we can do that. So anyway, okay, we have built a space chair, and that's today's mission for the day. I'm going to go on ahead and leave about 30 minutes early because it looks like we've got a couple of incoming calls that are coming in. And for some reason, my wife wants to talk to me at 11:30, so I'm not sure what that's all about. But I also want to make sure that my kid's out of class properly. So we are back to this, but here's our here's our space chair. So there's our space chair. I'm trying to decide whether I should put something on the back here just to kind of have something on the back, you know. Actually kind of like fins or vents or something. I mean, it seems like it needs a something on the back, but that's okay. For right now, space chair is space chair, and that's fine. Space chair doesn't need much more. It's just what it is. So, okay. That looks like we are pretty okay with the space chair. So we're going to do that. And there we go. I don't think you want to print this one though, Brent. This is just a space chair. That said, tomorrow we'll do some cars and things like that. They're all going to be based off of 80s Ferraris and Lamborghinis and stuff because those are just the coolest cars ever. DeLoreans, things like that, because you're going to do it right. Lots of angles. I'm such an 80s kid. There we go. Okay, guys. Well, I think that's all we've got for today. Our space chair is complete. And we will save it. And then export it. It's still spinning. There we go. Export as a wavefront object. And it says, oh no, it is the same as the other space chair. Yes, it is. Okay. Insect mecha. Honestly, I think that walkers of some sort, like mecha walkers, are great for transport over terrain. A long time ago, designed a vehicle that was part walker, part vehicle for transit. And I think I want to implement that here. It was kind of hard to explain, so why don't we build it tomorrow? And I'll show you what I had designed. And it's pretty fruity, and I like it. But it's a walker vehicle combination hybrid. So, and it's a shuttle. It's like a multi-purpose vehicle. So we'll get that going tomorrow, and we'll do that one, and that should be good enough, but I think that'll be fun. I also think that walker is great, and so it's another one of those. In my 20s, I had all kinds of great ideas, so let's throw them all in here. It'll be fun. So anyway, I'll see you all tomorrow. Have a great day. Tomorrow's Friday, and I think I don't have... yeah, that's what we were just talking about, Brent. I think Pepper's busy tomorrow. So if Pepper's busy tomorrow, then we will work on the shuttlecraft, this shuttle walker. We'll work on that. But if Pepper is not busy tomorrow, then it'll be Pepper and me doing a check-in. But I'm pretty sure he said last week he wasn't available this week. Not 100% sure. So, go back to going here. So, yeah. Okay, well, there we go. We now have ourselves a chair, and we will talk to you tomorrow. And until then, remember to keep your eyes on the stars, and I will see you next time. Bye-bye.